हमारे दांत स्टेन करते हैं एंड अगर हम आजकल तो चाय से ज़्यादा देयर इज दिस हेल्थ क्रेज वेयर एवरीबडी इज हैविंग बीटरूट सूप एंड पालक सूप, तो उससे भी स्टेनिंग हो रही है.
To take them to the dentist. Sometimes now people are very aware of उनके दांत बाहर आने लगते हैं. लेकिन I want to ask about kids, they start growing their tooth, the front tooth, little forward.
I think the first time this word smile whisperer was used was by my American patient some 15 years back.
American patient, okay.
Yeah, I have patients who do travel from different parts of the world. Kids do have the thumb sucking habit, the tongue thrusting habit. So then we may need to give a habit breaking device. The day the child turns 2 years, once a year appointment with the dentist is very important.
After 2 years only?
Yes.
Yeah.
Parshuram, the warrior sage and 6th Vishnu avatar, took a deep breath, reflecting on the decision, and shook his head. Was it all really worth it? He had been back on earth for thousands of years now. My book is about twins. It's about 2 of them. Like I said, I won't choose between Vishnu and Shiva. Similarly, my book, Antim, the Kalki Last Avatar, it has got 2 of them, 2 twins.
Hello everyone, welcome back on Krishna Talks. Today we have with us a very special guest, Dr. Nitika Modi, who is a renowned cosmetic dentist, and I can introduce her as if, in the morning she fixes teeth and in the evening she tends to shape the universe with her beautiful writing. She writes so much of books, but one of her latest edition coming to the market, which is the bestseller Indian book, is Antim. Antim is the last avatar.
Yes.
So, स्वागत करते हैं डॉक्टर नितिका मोदी के साथ, मिलते हैं, बात करते हैं और समझते हैं कि क्या इनको किस चीज़ ने बुक लिखने पर मजबूर किया. एंड स्वागत है आपका कृष्णा टॉक्स पर.
Thank you, Krishna ji, for having me on your very well watched and well researched show. Thank you.
नितिका जी, आप अपने पर्सनल जर्नी के ऊपर कुछ बताएंगी, कुछ बात करेंगी? Can you introduce yourself completely in deep, what it is?
Okay, so I'd like to believe I was a very precocious child, always asking questions.
Yeah.
I was very dazzled by the stars and the planets, and I traveled a lot. My father was a pilot.
Yeah.
I came from a family where my grandparents were avid readers. So a house in Lucknow, we had one big library. My grandfather stocked books, and of all languages. He knew French, Urdu, English, Hindi. And our place was a place where people from the arts and the creative zones used to come. So I was grounded in Indian arts and culture, whether it's listening to the instruments that India has, whether it's the different forms of dancing and reading. So I grew up in Mumbai, but I was in Lucknow often to be with my grandparents. So surrounded by the creative arts. Science always kind of fascinated me. So I knew that I would want to study ahead in science something. Initially, I thought I'd probably become an architect, and that's why I joined. In hum log ke dinon mein, in those days, after 10th, you joined a college. 11th and 12th was college in Mumbai. And as a 16-year-old, you had to make a choice which field. There wasn't what my kids have had, the benefit of integrative education, where they can study physics with music. I didn't have that option. So, and if you were good in studies, it was a very clear route. You either did engineering or you did medicine. So I joined science thinking that I'd probably want to be an architect. But somewhere down the line, the thing to have a DR before my name started.
A doctor, yeah.
Yes, to be a doctor. I wanted to heal. And but at the same time, I needed to use my fingers. I loved painting. I liked baking. I like to create things from my fingers. So a chance meeting with my family dentist, my parents used to go to the dentist, I'd never been to one, made me think of that as a great option where my father kept saying I'd have a good balance between a home life and a professional life. The key word here was balance. He's like, you don't want to be such a busy doctor that you miss out on a family life. And I think that thing stuck with me. And as a dentist, I get to be part engineer, part artist, and part creator. So it blends in beautifully into what I do. So my journey started with dentistry, and then I sought some education in the US, came back to India, and worked with some very senior, very loved dentists. And then I started my own practice way back in 2005. In the meanwhile, I had my 2 boys. Through this whole time, I was always reading, and there was this fascination to know more about our world, where we are coming from. I feel हम लोग बहुत lucky हैं कि हम इस भारत भूमि में जन्मे हैं. कहीं पे ये भूमि बहुत प्योर है, बहुत ही enriched है, और यहाँ से हमें कितना कुछ मिलता है. So I wanted to dive deeper. एंड वो कहते हैं ना कि गोठा कर वो कैसे समुद्र के अंदर जाके पर्ल्स निकालता है. आई डिसाइडेड दैट व्हाइल आई एम प्रैक्टिसिंग मेडिसिन, आई वांट टू डाइव डीपर इनटू आवर रूट्स एंड बिगिन टू बोरो फ्रॉम देम. एंड दैट्स व्हेन आई रियलाइज्ड कि जैसे वेलनेस के लिए हमें बॉडी, माइंड, स्पिरिट तीनों को वेल होना ज़रूरी है, बिकॉज अ पार्ट कैन नेवर बी वेल अनलेस द होल इज़ वेल. So I realized that even in medicine, we can collaborate very well between modern day medicine along with the integrative roots of Ayurveda, homeopathy, and what our seers, the yogis, spoke about. And I started reading up about the Panchkosha. And during COVID, it all just suddenly fell into place that जो छोटी छोटी आदतें हैं, जो छोटी छोटी चीज़ें हम करते हैं रोज़ाना की ज़िंदगी में, उससे हमारी इम्यूनिटी बिल्डअप होती है, वो हमारे हेल्थ को ठीक रखता है. सो आई मूव्ड फ्रॉम जस्ट बीइंग अ वेरी एविड मॉडर्न डे प्रैक्टिशनर टू ट्राइंग टू, इंस्टेड ऑफ treat the disease, prevent disease. And that's when the holistic wellness part became a part of my life. Long before that, I had already started writing my book. So I started writing my book sometime around 2007 when my older son.
So Mrs. Modi, what role does resonates with you the most?
Of a mother.
Role of a mother, okay.
I think
but major of your life you have spent to be a doctor, becoming a dentist. So
yes,
why
so
mother only?
I think everything together. Each part of the profession or what I'm doing taps into a different part of me. So I like to use my scientific precision with creative insights and the holistic transformation that I can bring around with smiles along with lives. So while touching smiles, I like to touch their lives. Most of my patients come back to me for advice, not just for their teeth, also because it's a relationship that you build with each client. And that's what I believe, ki you have to have had some connect with someone to walk into your room. It's some past connect, and we take it from there, and that's how. But the most fulfilling, most enriching has been being a mother to my 2 boys. Each time I see them, my eyes and my heart swells.
You become more
with love.
human, when you get your own offsprings in front of you growing. So you feel like, you have to touch you are creator of a human body, and now you
Yes.
have to take care of it.
I think love, just that purity that a mother and a child relationship has, I think that touches me the most. And of all the things that I've done and achieved, I think I feel being a mother to my 2 precious boys has been my biggest contribution to this universe.
So you're known to be a smile whisperer, titled as Smile Whisperer. Now, can you explain us what is it? And
I think the first time this word smile whisperer was used was by my American patient some 15 years back.
American patient. Okay.
Yeah, I have patients who do travel from different parts of the world. And she said, you're so gentle and you're able to transform untold stories of our lives into your smile makeovers, so which reflects the patient's personality. I don't take away from that. So she just said, you're so gentle with the way you work and the way you transform our untold stories into our smiles. And I would like to call you a smile whisperer. This is what she said. Or फिर उसके बाद it just became a title.
You started using it for yourself?
No,
this
I'm
title?
pretty embarrassed using it.
Yeah. But I would really love to get this title anyway. Like, if anyone wants to give me a specific title where I'm good at, why not?
I think a smile is such a beautiful thing. We're known, people remember us for our smiles and our eyes, right?
Yeah.
So if I can play a role in someone's life where I can give them a smile that they can be happy about, I think I've done a good job.
Okay. So in this modern day smile makeovers, like you are a celebrity dentist. I could see your profile that you've been treating like in the main industrialists and major of the big actors and like, how do you see yourself, when you are on that doctor's chair drilling the tooth of someone who is like, a well-renowned person in front of you as a, patient. Now, how do you work? Like, what is your process of dentistry that time? Something keeps going in your mind.
Thankfully, dentistry has grown a lot in the last few years. Yeah. So we have a lot of technology which is AI driven, and we have a lot of great gadgets. But more important than that is the human touch. So first I get to know my patient well, and I do not look at the person as a celebrity or an industrialist, because then I'll feel smaller and I will not be able to ever do my best job.
Yeah.
So I have to be at the same
you have to forget,
frequency. You have to forget about who they are. They're your client. Yeah. They've come to you seeking something, and you have to operate just thinking that. Otherwise you'd be nervous. Imagine if you're working on some very, very well-known person. And always get to hear that, oh my God, this person has tantrums and this person is such a high-off celebrity. But I've been very blessed that most of my patients have been such genuinely easy to work on. That's because my first couple of appointments, I do not pick up the drill and start working on them. It's just about
try and develop that pace of,
Yeah, we develop that trust between each other, and do a small procedure, probably 5 minutes on the dental chair and 15 minutes on the couch having a coffee. Develop that relationship and get to know what it is that they're seeking to change in their smile or within their oral cavity, rather than what I want to do, and then create a great outcome, which is where they get what they want, and my expertise and knowledge in the subject transforms it into that.
I would like to ask a small question, like, the children, they're at the growing age, they start getting that tooth fall, and they develop a new tooth. So, like, although it is a science, and I think you are confluencing both science and spirituality, as you mentioned in your book also, like, where do you think that science meets spirituality in the context of dentistry?
I think science and spirituality meet at the point where observation ends and awareness begins.
Yeah.
So, it's a beautiful thing that there's limitation where you don't look at this life and the universe with just measurements, but something beyond. There's a very thin line, and you can imagine and decipher when outcomes change with creativity. So that's where science blends in with this. It's so beautiful, like you just narrated, that as children, the milk teeth fall and the permanent teeth come. हमें कुछ नहीं करना पड़ता उसके लिए. We just have to be part of the process.
Yeah.
And this is where that when you look at both science and spirituality, they're actually the same thing. They're different sides of the same thing. So sometimes all you need to do is sit quiet and be an observer. And science and spirituality both will, befriend you and come into you. So it's so beautiful that हमारा permanent दांत उगरा होता है हमारे jaw में, and just that force of that makes your milk tooth fall off. And it comes into its right space. We don't have to interfere with it. We don't have to do anything with it. And it's same similar concept that the human body is such a miraculous piece of engineering. No matter how far we grow in technology, in science, nobody can replicate this great gift from the universe that we've got, the human body. It's an amazing piece of machinery, all 400 trillion cells working together in harmony to give us such a functionality. And if we learn to understand our body, most of us will keep healthy. It's just that this outside noise takes over our inside voice. And that's where disease process begins.
Wow. So what suggestion would you give to the mothers? मम्मीज आजकल बहुत टेंस्ड रहती है ना, बच्चों के दांत डिके हो जाते हैं, to take them to the dentist. Sometimes now people are very aware of उनके दांत बाहर आने लगते हैं. लेकिन I want to ask about kids, they start growing their tooth, the front tooth, little forward.
Yeah. So, Krishna ji, इसमें सबसे important बात जो बदल रही है, पहले 20 years back, I used to say that 40 to 50% of children needed orthodontic treatment. But now in today's day and age, 99% of children need orthodontic treatment. So what has changed really? The way we eat.
Yeah.
We're eating a lot more processed food. We're eating a lot of food which is almost pulp. We're not eating fibrous things. So usse kya hota hai ki the milk teeth of the child doesn't fall at the right age. So they're called as over-retained milk teeth. Ye daant apne aap gilte hi nahi, because the kids are not eating raw carrots, they're not eating ganna, they're not eating raw apples. Everything is boiled, sauteed and given to them. And that's why the milk teeth don't fall at the right age. When they don't fall, and the pressure from the permanent tooth bud is not coming at the right time. So there's over-retained milk teeth, and under the permanent teeth that are coming are not getting the guidance to come into the right place. So because of that, we get deformity in the way the teeth are placed. Second thing is, we're eating a lot of carbohydrate-rich foods. Everything that you see today, whether it's muffins, cakes, pies, the chips, packaged things, they all have salts and sugars which are not good for the teeth. And these kids are not brushing in the night. So number one thing to do is to brush 2 times in the day, one in the morning and once at night. Of course, for all of us, we need to up our oral hygiene by brushing 2 times. And I always say, each time brush for at least 2 to 3 minutes. So many of the children tell me, oh, but we brush 2 times. And then I ask them, for how long? And then the mother or the father or the nanny will say, 20 seconds bhi nahi jate muh ke andar, tak tak. So you need to give some time to your oral hygiene, 2 to 3 minutes of brushing, along with tongue cleaning. Very important, because a lot of the oral bacteria remain on the tongue, and that's where plaque forming bacteria stay, and then we begin to get wo jo thin soft layer hoti hai, when subah jab hum uthte hain, wo soft plaque hota hai. If we don't remove it with a brush, it begins to harden. It becomes like chalk, and then it becomes even harder, like cement, and then you have to go to a dentist to remove it when they do your oral prophylaxis. So if we clean our teeth well every day and floss. I believe in flossing, not for the small children, but all of us should water floss. It's one of the biggest habits that will keep your gums and your teeth strong.
So flossing is what,
water flossing.
Water flossing.
So earlier we used to even have the threads.
Threads, yeah.
But that requires there is a learning curve. You have to learn how to floss right. बहुत लोग पीछे के दांतों में floss नहीं कर पाते थे. So the water floss is a very easy machine. You just have to place it in your mouth and close your mouth, and it cleans up your teeth. And then once you begin to use a water flosser, you'll realize that you get addicted to it. Your mouth will never ever feel as clean without it.
This equipment is made, you get in the market. Like,
Of course, it's available everywhere, and we all need to use it.
okay. And like the braces, what is the right age of wearing a braces?
So the right age would be once your permanent teeth have come out, around 12 to 13 years of age. But some kids may require something called as interceptive orthodontics. So that the dentist will decide whether we want to start treatment at age 9 or 10. That is when we would want to expand the palate if the palate is too narrow or the child has some habit. A lot of kids do have the thumb sucking habit, the tongue thrusting habit. So then we may need to give a habit breaking device. So the day the child turns 2 years, once a year appointment with the dentist is very important.
After 2 years only?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because by the time they are 2, they have all their milk teeth in their mouth. And it's a good thing. Precaution is better than cure. To keep going to the dentist once a year.
So later in the age of some particular age, like, even the adults, they start getting those decays, tooth decays, and many times I've seen very early adults, they have lost major of their tooth. They get some fluoride attack, or sometimes, they get that decays, which is actually they have to go to dentist every year.
Yeah.
So what is that exactly?
So decay is directly proportional to how we are cleaning, and somewhere also if we have genetics where our parents are prone to decay, we would be prone to decay too. But I would still feel that's 5 or 6% chance you'll get decay because of your parents. The rest is your own habits and lifestyle. Brushing right, nothing can take away from that, and never ever going to bed without brushing. Brushing in the night is the most important thing to prevent cavities, because it's like हम पूरे दिन सब कुछ खा रहे हैं, पी रहे हैं, और रात को बिना brush करके सो जाए. So whatever is left over remains on our teeth surfaces, and that's when oral bacteria act upon that food. And when they're eating that food, they release gases, these bacteria. Those gases cause holes in our teeth. They cause little cracks in our teeth, and that's what decay is. So फिर हमें निकालना पड़ता है, and we have to fill it up. So the best way to prevent decay is to clean well in the night.
I think Indian tooth is better than like which tooth? I mean Asian tooth, and there are African tooths, and I mean there are many other like demographics. The tooth we see differently. The different colors.
I think the Indian diet is actually a very good diet.
Yeah.
So that's why yes, you're right that Indian oral hygiene and the state of the oral of the teeth in an Indian mouth is probably better than their European and American counterparts. It's essentially to do with the diet and the hygiene that they maintain. But having said that, the kids of today are not having as great hygiene as their parents used to. They're not spending for everything that it's so contradictory that they're getting more aware, but yet they're so casual about oral hygiene.
So, Mrs. Modi, your book, we'll talk about your book, The Antim, The Last Avatar. You are writing this book. Can you discuss something, the process of writing this book?
Kalki, The Last Avatar, is supposedly the 10th Vishnu Avatar. और वो कलयुग के end में आने वाले हैं. So, as it is, the groundwork was laid out. We know about the 9 previous Vishnu Avatars. हमारे ग्रंथों में लिखा है कि कल्कि अवतार का जन्म होगा, जगह दी है, नाम दिया है उनके पेरेंट्स का. So I borrowed from that and I started writing. And when I started writing, I realized that a lot of it was just written for me. I was just holding the pen and at the end of it, when I would read it, I was like, gosh, did I write this? And then there were times when I would write and tear and tear. So it was a process of self-growth, because I changed a lot of my routine. I was still a practicing dentist. I had to be at the clinic from 10 to 6. I was also a mother of 2 young boys, so I had to do the pickup from the school, drop, looking into their diet and everything. So I began waking up at 3:30 in the morning, Brahma Muhurat, and started spending time in quiet. तो उससे क्या होता है, थोड़ी grounding हो जाती है. You just become, your 30,000 thoughts come down to 30 thoughts. And when it's a clearer slate, it's easy to write on. It was just that my mind would become very peaceful, very calm, and that's when I would write. And I would do all my research the previous night. So whatever I've researched on the previous night, I would just write.
So I can imagine the sleepless nights you must have been through, like writing, thinking, writing, and all those.
Yeah, but I'm an early to bed person. I would sleep by 10:30, and the boys would sleep at 9. So once the boys would go to sleep, I would start with my research. 45 minutes to 1 hour of research every day.
What a dedication!
Yeah.
So like when you started writing and you had your own imaginations, do you think your imaginations were dominant over the stories which has been narrated, where you have taken the research from?
Absolutely. Every author brings a bit of their own personal experiences into their storytelling. So my style was a lot to do with how I perceive life and see. The good part is that in my book, we have the 8 Chiranjeevis, और उनके बारे में तो बहुत कुछ पढ़ने को लिखने को है. So I had my most fun time writing about the Chiranjeevis and their trajectory in the book.
आपके हिसाब से आपका favorite चिरंजीवी कौन है?
हनुमान जी.
हनुमान जी. ऐसा क्यों?
He's so loving. I just love the energy of Hanuman ji. I mean, हमें ये बताया गया है कि जब तक ये दुनिया रहेगी, हनुमान जी रहेंगे. जब तक राम नाम रहेगा, हनुमान जी रहेंगे. And he's so modest. He lacks ego. He's always there. और वो खुद को सेवक बुलाते हैं. मतलब, I mean, look at his personality. So amazing. So
आपकी बुक में बहुत कुछ ऐसा है, कुछ we really need to, I mean, I am trying to create a curiosity to go through the book again and read, but I would really like to understand that आपने अश्वत्थामा जैसे जो है उनको भी आपने हीरो कहीं नरेट किया है.
जी, of course.
Like ऐसे तो उनको he was from the other side, like असत्य के साथ थे.
Ashwatthama, is known as part of Shiva. He was born into a very good family, and he was also the son of a big guru who the Kauravas and the Pandavas learned from, right? द्रोणाचार्य के वो बेटे थे. पर इसमें यही हुआ कि अश्वत्थामा को हमेशा लगा कि उनके पिताजी was more biased towards Arjun and was teaching more. Somewhere each one of us feels neglected in those young age when our parents give a little bit more. So probably that's what Ashwatthama. But he had all the knowledge. He had all the knowledge, and he was a Maha Veer. उनकी जो capacity थी, वो जितना जानते थे warfare के बारे में. Yes, but he was, one of his brilliant qualities was that he was a true friend. And he found that friendship with someone who was on the other side. So it was actually Duryodhan who actually befriended him, and they remained friends forever. So Ashwatthama chose to be on the other side because of friendship.
So is this acceptable? Like,
the more I read, the more I realize that there's no right and wrong. Every person's perspective and of right and wrong could be completely varied based on what you have experienced. So probably he was very right where he was. And, towards the end, Ashwathama, Krishna ने भी उनके साथ आप हम सबको पता है that in the end Ashwathama did something out of neglect. He didn't know कि वो तो उस टेंट में अंदर घुसे थे पांडव को मारने के लिए वॉर के एंड के बाद, बट इट वाज द उप पांडव, सो ही हैड गिल्ट, गलती से कुछ हो गया था, बट कृष्ण ने उसका उन्हें, सो अमंग्स द 8 immortals देयर इज ओनली वन हु इज कर्स्ड and that's Ashwathama. बाकी सातों को तो boon मिला है to be there forever. It's Ashwathama who carries the pain of living life as a curse forever. So imagine
just
that.
For a friend.
For friendship.
Yeah.
Just
okay. So what made you get into this kind of imagination? What inclined you to write a book on mythology coming out from science?
I'm an
background of science, science where it speaks about practicality.
Ji.
And how do you relate mythology and science? Yes.
So I am an avid believer in quantum physics.
Yeah.
And I say that quantum physics is telling untold stories. It's, it's telling us that the life is not the way we see it. It's available in different zones and different energies and different fields. So I believe energy, vibration, and frequency is what dictates everything.
Yeah.
And if we sit with the right intent and we energize ourselves, we'll fluctuate at a frequency where we can begin to absorb from the universe. It's a very intelligent universe and it'll give us what we are seeking. And that's where somehow people are talking of manifestation. Manifestation वही है कि आप peacefully अपनी energies को absolutely increase कर दो, जैसे you become a magnet to the right frequencies of this universe and you'll automatically be able to get what you want.
आप फिर बच्चों को क्या सजेशन देंगी कि लाइक साइंस तो पढ़ रहे हो लेकिन अब स्पिरिचुअलिटी पे किस तरीके से झुकाव करें, क्योंकि सबकी स्पिरिचुअलिटी डिपेंड्स अगेन, स्पिरिचुअलिटी इज सो मच vast, like it depends on different religion, different communities, different culture they come to.
So instead of telling the kids anything, I would just tell the parents, live in love. There is no higher religion than love. And for the kids, they are so anchored and they're so stable if they see a loving environment between the parents. If the parents are in love with each other, the child will grow to be brilliant. This is the most important thing. There is no bigger religion than love. And spirituality is actually getting to know who you are. ये पूरा किस्सा यहाँ से यहाँ तक का ही है. Is just to know yourself. Love, peace, and awareness. This is the purpose of life. And no one being is in any way lesser than the other. You could be doing anything in this world. हमें कुछ बहुत बड़ी चीजें नहीं करनी. In the end, we just need to find ourselves. And spirituality is an overused word. What is it? It is just getting to know within yourself who you are. And how do you do that? By growing the child in a very happy, loving, peaceful environment. You don't need to do anything more. Child अपने आप ही, और हाँ, अपने घर में किताबें रखो, ग्रंथ रखो, थोड़े उनकी उपासना करो, उनके बारे में पढ़ो. Be a good human yourself. Let the kids see what you do and they will imbibe from you. You don't need to tell them, you don't need to teach them. Kids will absolutely, they are sponges, they'll absorb from what you're doing. एकदम से नहीं करेंगे. There comes a time in the kids' life when they want to do everything opposite than what their parents did. But आप सही सीख की तरह नहीं दो, सही सीख रह के दो. Live in a certain way and they will come back to that. Once they become parents, they will always remember the way you grew them up.
So, Mrs. Modi, can you read some few lines from your book? Some favorite few lines of your book?
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Without giving too much away of the book, I have to find one of my favorites is Parshuram. Parshuram, the warrior sage and 6th Vishnu avatar. Parshuram, the warrior sage and 6th Vishnu avatar, took a deep breath, reflecting on the decision, and shook his head. Was it all really worth it? He had been back on Earth for thousands of years now and was quite fed up with its self-seeking inhabitants. He would rather have been in a splendid solitude, enjoying nature and its elements on the planet he called home. Unlike his fellow immortals, Parshuram was least interested in the cause of saving the earth. He had argued with the Holy Trinity too. Let them kill themselves, they deserve it. Race of selfish idiots. Why waste our time and invest our energies? I would rather bring into existence another planetary system. So this is when, the immortals have been given the duty or the bhar of saving planet Earth. Because as Kali Yuga is coming, planet Earth is getting into its final extinction. And that's why the immortals are still around. They're trying to save planet Earth. But Parshuram is like, it's a race of idiots, let them die. Let's make a new planet. This is what his opinion is. And this is what this sentence says.
So like sustainable development, and Parshuram spoke about destroying
The reason being that we've been really a very selfish race. We are blessed to have consciousness. The animals don't have that. And this universe is such an intelligent universe. It's placed each one of us exactly where we are supposed to be. So you won't find a coconut tree growing up in the Himalayas, and you won't find a pine tree growing by the sea. So the universe has a place for each one of us. But as human beings, we are gradually taking more and more space of the others. We're cutting down trees, and at the cost of development, we are bringing down everything that human needs to survive. And our interdependence cannot be spoken of lightly. We are interdependent on even that small earthworm. If we change that eco-balance in our system, we'll cease to exist the way we are. So we need to walk on this planet with a lot more love, that we don't crush and crumple everything that we do. And one of the biggest things that we are doing, I was reading the other day how much of food wastage is happening in a world where so many people are dying of hunger. Somewhere balance ki zarurat hai. Somewhere we need to be eating more plant-based food, be able to grow that and eat just as much as we want. I think इस दुनिया में problem overabundance की हो रही है, not the lack of anything. There's just too much available for too many people, and that's why those who don't have to really strive very hard to get that little. Why can't we balance it out a bit little more? कि जिन लोगों के पास है, those who've been blessed, use with caution. Don't overuse everything. Do we really need so many clothes, so many cars, so much of everything?
We need to work on sustainability,
Yes.
थोड़ा long run तक चले और ज़्यादा important
reuse. Reuse
work on
and
our reuse and
sustainability.
recycling things and this.
Yeah.
अभी डेंटिस्ट्री मिथ्स के ऊपर बात करते हैं.
जी.
कहा जाता है ना कि लेमन और तेल से दांत घिसते थे पहले के लोग, और दांत एकदम स्ट्रांग हुआ करते था पहला, लेकिन दांत तो उनके स्टिंग करते थे. सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक दैट वो Colgate and the other companies, the toothpaste companies is better than the old age tricks?
पहले ज़माने में दतून यूज़ करते थे. दतून बहुत ही अच्छी चीज़ है. नीम का थोड़ा सा वो साफ करता था. बट लेट्स ब्लेंड what we have from the past आज के साथ जो अवेलेबल है. तो मैं हमेशा ये कहूँगी, एक छोटा हेड टूथब्रश का, डोंट बाय अ बिग हेड, बिकॉज पीछे के दांतों पे वो पहुँचता नहीं है. तो यूज़ अ स्मॉल हेड टूथब्रश. ऑलवेज यूज़ अ सॉफ्ट टूथब्रश. बहुत लोग हार्ड टूथब्रश या मीडियम टूथब्रश, जिसके जो फाइबर्स होते हैं वो बहुत हार्ड होते हैं, तो वो दांत को घिस देते हैं. इसलिए यूज़ अ सॉफ्ट टूथब्रश, यूज़ अ स्मॉल टूथब्रश and use very very little amount of toothpaste. वो ads हम देखते हैं ना टीवी पे कि पूरा ऐसे लगाते हैं टूथपेस्ट, वैसे नहीं लगना है. हमें थोड़ा सा टूथपेस्ट डाला है, one small pea drop, tap onto it so that it goes into the brush bristles. So जैसे आप जब कुल्ला कर रहे हो, वो ब्लॉन्क, वो पूरा का पूरा पेस्ट वानी है, वो आपके मुंह में जाए, उसके लिए थोड़े से की ज़रूरत है. So one tube can last you, if you're using it alone, for 4 to 5 months. We don't need to use so much. It's just to make us feel fresher.
Yeah.
And you can use whatever you like, whichever toothpaste. They're all the same.
अच्छा, ये there is also a myth like चाय पीने से दांत पीली पड़ जाती है. Is that
ट्रू दैट इज ट्रू. तो हमारे दांत स्टेन करते हैं. एंड अगर हम आजकल तो चाय से ज़्यादा देयर इज दिस whole health craze where everybody is having beetroot soup and palak soup. तो उससे भी staining हो रही है. People are eating a lot of they're drinking a lot of wine and having dark chocolate. उससे भी दांत stain होते हैं. Coffee, उससे दांत stain होते हैं. So, but the key here is rinse. Each time you're having some liquid, go and rinse. And एक छोटा नुस्खा अगर दो, कॉफ़ी पीनी हो या ऐसे soups पीने हो, have it with a straw. It will not coat your teeth so much. Okay. And then go and rinse it. वो Starbucks ने छोटे straws introduce किए थे. That was a bang on very good idea because it doesn't stain your teeth as much. So whenever you're having anything colored, liquids or even food, go and rinse right away. And liquids, try and having it with straw.
Yeah. Achha, then the decayed tooth, when you remove, from the patient and they see those tooth, coming out of their mouth. So it's actually something where we feel sad about it, but how do you predict it, that particular object coming out of the tooth?
Science has come to a very long way that we hardly ever remove teeth. We are able to save the teeth by different procedures. So a decay can be taken care of just by a filling. And if the decay has gone deeper into your nerve tissue, then a root canal treatment can be done to cure that nerve. It's only a really very badly, मतलब आपने बहुत टाइम तक उस पर ध्यान ही नहीं दिया, डॉक्टर के पास नहीं गए, that we are compelled or due to an accident or an injury that the tooth comes out. And yes, you're so right कि a tooth is a very integral part of our body. To remove a tooth, everybody feels bad. So we prepare the patient that ठीक है, I mean, it's our last solution, removing the teeth, or if you met with an accident. But we always replace it. So we have great replacement options today, so the patient doesn't have to be made to feel so bad. And another thing I would say that science has come so far ahead that today there's a lot of stuff happening on stem cell research. So when we remove milk teeth, over-eaten milk teeth, जैसे बच्चों का दांत गिर नहीं रहे अपने आप, तो डेंटिस्ट के पास आते हैं, हम वो दांत निकालते हैं, उसमें से हम स्टेम सेल्स निकाल के वो बच्चों के लिए प्रिजर्व कर देते हैं. So we have stem cell banks where you can preserve your own. So you can make a bad thing a good thing, but it can't be a decayed tooth. खराब सड़ा हुआ दांत को हम लोग स्टेम सेल्स नहीं निकाल सकते उसमें से. लेकिन हम लोग थर्ड मोलर्स जब निकाल रहे होते हैं, आजकल ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों के मुंह में थर्ड मोलर्स सही नहीं आते, बिकॉज आवर जॉ साइज इज एक्चुअली reducing. We are eating more cooked food, more we're not eating what our ancestors ate. So the jaw size has reduced and our brain size has grown. So you will see that this is part of evolution. So the third molar is not needed anymore. So it's as it is. I think 3 generations down the line, third molar होगा ही नहीं.
Yeah.
तो वो third molar कभी-कभी टेढ़ा आता है. They are over, they're in the mouth, impacted.
The gums only, then they have to cut the gums and remove.
Yeah. So जब हम third molar निकालते हैं, we bank them for stem cells.
Okay. Which one is the better choice, braces or aligners nowadays?
Invisalign aligners and braces both do the same thing. They put your teeth back into the right geometry, the right way the mouth is supposed to close. The upper teeth have to close onto the lower teeth by around 2 millimeters. So it gives you the perfect balance of chewing, the right functionality. It depends. I would never suggest Invisalign or aligners for a young 12-year-old boy or naughty 12-year-old boy. I may suggest it for a very sincere 12-year-old girl. And now the bias, because aligners jab karte, you have to wear it for 22 hours in a day. And the treatment outcome depends on whether you're wearing it. Also, you can't be losing it. So a 12-year-old sincere girl will wear the aligner, keep it in the box and get it home. A 12-year-old naughty boy will have his aligners lost everywhere and will not wear it for 22 hours. So for such kids, braces is a better option because then the treatment outcome is on me. I am handling the treatment outcome is given to the patient when they're wearing aligners. So we choose very, very cautiously who we want to do braces for and who is the right candidate for aligners.
And above 35 also aligners work?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's when we need aligners more, because you don't want to, you're already in a work environment, you're working somewhere by 35. You could be an actor, a teacher, a politician, but you want to correct your teeth view. So you can wear aligners, किसी को पता ही नहीं चलेगा. That's the beauty of aligners, that they are transparent. So nobody gets to know. You just have to remove. The reason I say 22 hours is you have to remove them while you're eating your food.
So Dr. Modi, can we get along with you and rapid fire round?
Sure, love it.
Yeah. Since you are very much inclined to spirituality, can I have a choice of your favorite god, Lord Shiva or Lord Vishnu?
I don't like to choose between the two. I want both of them. I'm a bit greedy.
So AI or dentistry?
Dentistry.
Dentistry or writing? A book?
Dentistry till my hands are stable. I can keep writing forever.
Okay. And what would you entitle Kalki Yuga in one word?
Antim.
Antim.
Antim, because it's the final yuga. The आखिरी, and the end is always a beginning. उसके बाद वापस सतयुग शुरू होगा. कलयुग के बाद सतयुग शुरू होगा. So the last one word is Antim.
If your book is made into a film, who would you like to play as an actor in the role of Kalki?
See, I'd be giving a lot about the book away if I tell you the name of the actor who I would want. So I wouldn't talk about the main protagonist. My book is about twins. It's about two of them. Like I said, I won't choose between Vishnu and Shiva. Similarly, my book, Antim, the Kalki Last Avatar, it has got two of them, two twins. So there's a boy and a girl.
Okay.
And of course, the girl, I would want Priyanka to play it, because who else who can play the role of a goddess, of a god? She's brilliant. And probably Ranveer Singh, I'm enjoying his roles that he's playing, so much depth to it. But having said all of that, I wrote Parshuram with Amitabh Bachchan in mind.
Oh, wow. It's amazing. It's amazing. And actually, it's all your perseverance, your thought process, what comes in your book, It's your imagination. So what do you think about mythology and spirituality?
So I don't like to call my book mytho-fiction, because mythology, mythia, मतलब मन गढ़ंत. लेकिन हमारे जो scriptures हैं वो तो actually exist किए थे, वो हुए थे. तो वो किस्से हैं, वो कहानी नहीं है. So I don't like to say mytho-fiction. I don't like that word. We've borrowed from the epics. My book has borrowed from the epics, and it is a science fiction. Mytho-fiction.
What age would you prefer the reader to start reading your book?
I recently visited the IIT campus, and the engineers are totally enthralled by the book, because this book has a lot of quantum physics in it. And I've used a lot of, teachings of the Gita in it too. So the questions the IITians were asking me were really interesting, very different from. So it requires, the youngsters are enjoying the book because they're seeing them getting to know about the 8 immortals. काफी को तो पता ही नहीं था इनके बारे में. बहुत को यही नहीं पता था कि वेद व्यास कौन है. तो small things like that. So they're beginning to, and I'm very happy that a few of them have remained in touch with me on email, some of these engineers who I spoke to, and they're telling me, they read up about this and they've suddenly got fascination for the Indian roots.
So Dr. Modi, you've written the book with a big research and you've learned so many things. Can you name all your 8 immortals in your book?
Of course. So we start with Ashwathama, the only one who's cursed. The other 7 are blessed. So Ashwathama, फिर बलि महाबली उन्हें बोलते हैं. फिर वेद व्यास के बाद हनुमान, विभीषण, कृपाचार्य, परशुराम और फिर मार्कंडेय. These are the 8 चिरंजीवीज.
8 immortals, 8 चिरंजीवीज.
जी.
और आप जब जब भी इनको पढ़ रही थी तो आपको चिरंजीवी श्लोक, चिरंजीवी मंत्र कुछ
हाँ, एक चिरंजीवी मंत्र है, एक श्लोक है जिनमें इन सब के नाम उसी ऑर्डर में आते हैं और वो कहा जाता है कि वो श्लोक पढ़ने से सबकी हेल्थ बहुत अच्छी रहती है। तो चिरंजीवी मंत्र अपनाएं, चिरंजीवियों के बारे में पढ़ें और उनका मंत्रगण शुरू करें तो उससे आपकी हेल्थ अच्छी रहेगी। ये कहा जाता है बिकॉज दे आर ब्लेस्ड, ऑल ऑफ दीज चिरंजीवीज आर ब्लेस्ड, सो दे कीप यू एब्सोल्युटली invigorized and always alive.
तो हनुमान जी की याद, हनुमान जी को जब याद करते तो हनुमान मंत्र पढ़ते हैं
जी।
क्या ऐसा स्पेसिफिक मंत्र है?
हनुमान जी के लिए तो हम सब हनुमान चालीसा पढ़ते हैं, लेकिन हनुमान जी के भी बहुत सारे छोटे छोटे मंत्र हैं। तो अगर हम लोग माला कर रहे हो या चांटिंग, जो इनफैक्ट कलयुग में भगवान को पहुंचने के लिए, सदगति प्राप्त करने के लिए एक ही उपाय बताया गया है और वो है मंत्र चांटिंग। पहले ज़माने में तो यज्ञ करने पड़ते थे, बहुत बड़ी बड़ी कठिनाइयाँ उठानी पड़ती थी। इस ज़माने में तो बहुत आसान है और इस ज़माने के लिए कलयुग का मंत्र भी बहुत सिंपल है। और वो जो इस्कॉन वाले करते हैं, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम, हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण कृष्ण, तो ये वाला जो मंत्र है हरे कृष्ण वाला, यही है इस कलयुग का मंत्र जिसमें राम नाम और कृष्ण नाम पुकारा जाए।
ये मंत्र पढ़ने में एक्चुअली कहा जाता है जरा सा भी कोई गलती हो तो कहते हैं उसका रिवर्स इफेक्ट आता है। आप क्या मानती हैं इसको, किस तरीके से देखती हैं?
ज़्यादातर मंत्र संस्कृत में लिखे गए हैं, तो उन मंत्रों उच्चारण से बहुत हमें सही उच्चारण से हमें बहुत बेनिफिट्स मिलेंगे। गलत उच्चारण से कुछ गलत नहीं होगा, शायद कुछ प्राप्त नहीं हो, लेकिन कुछ गलत नहीं हो। लेकिन we are so blessed with technology always there, you can learn the मंत्र, क्योंकि मंत्र तो बहुत छोटे 4-5 वाक्य साथ में होते हैं, 4-5 शब्द साथ में होते हैं। तो संस्कृत के वो 4-5 शब्द आप अगर सुनो और उनके साथ बोलना शुरू करो तो आपका उच्चारण 1-2 हफ्ते में तो ठीक हो ही जाएगा। और छोटे मंत्रों से स्टार्ट करो।
और सबको पढ़ना चाहिए, सभी को मंत्र पढ़ना चाहिए।
आप देखोगे कि what is mantra doing? It is bringing down your thoughts, because when you're saying a mantra, you're putting everything away and you're just saying
focusing
that mantra.
on those words,
so it's
and
helping
lines,
with focus, and it's also bringing your breath down. ये कहा जाता है कि हम सब उतने ही सांसें लेके पैदा हुए हैं, तो if we bring down our breaths, which is what pranayam also teaches us, we live longer. So mantra chanting is a great way to bring peace of mind and longevity of life.
तो मेडिटेशन अच्छा करना चाहिए कि मंत्र पढ़ना चाहिए?
मेडिटेशन कहाँ कैसे पहुँचेंगे आप?
हाँ,
मेडिटेशन तो पहले आपको माइंड को काम करना है ना, वो कैसे काम करेंगे? From 30,000 thoughts that we all get, 80% of those thoughts are repetitive negative thoughts. So first we have to filter those and throw them out, and then bring it down to lesser. Now how? हम सबको कुछ ना कुछ तो उपाय ढूंढना पड़ेगा कि कैसे हम अपने थॉट्स, डायरेक्टली तो कोई मेडिटेशन में जा नहीं सकता। मेडिटेशन बहुत बड़ा वक्त है, शब्द है, हम लोग बहुत आसानी से आज इस दुनिया में यूज़ कर रहे हैं, लेकिन वो जो योगी जो ऊपर हिमालय में बैठ के असली मेडिटेशन कर रहे हैं, वो यहाँ से वहाँ क्यों गए? कुछ तो हमें इस बारे में विचार करना चाहिए कि मेडिटेशन इज एन ओवरटली अब्यूज वर्ड। सब लोग आजकल मेडिटेट कर रहे हैं, इम्पॉसिबल। अ मंकी माइंड वेयर एवरीबडी सो बिजी in the hustle and bustle of life, how can you meditate? Meditation classes everybody is having without even there's no prerequisite required for meditation. So I think meditation is it's the end. You have to start with mantra chanting. You have to learn to become quiet, sit in quiet. उसके बाद फिर आप वो स्टेज पे पहुंचोगे when you become focused, and then what is meditation? हमें meditation दिन में 10, 15, 20 मिनट के लिए नहीं, फिर हमारी पूरी जिंदगी मेडिटेटिव हो जानी चाहिए कि जो कुछ भी हम करें वो फोकस्ड हो। मेडिटेशन यही है कि हम एक चीज़ पे फोकस करें। सो लिव इन मेडिटेशन।
सो आपकी बातों से समझ में आ रहा है कि आपने बहुत रिसर्च किया है, इन डेप्थ रिसर्च किया है। क्या उस जमाने में भी ये टूथ सर्जरी और दांतों का ट्रीटमेंट होता था?
Of course, सुश्रुता,
हाँ।
सुश्रुता जो who's known as the father of surgery, वो तो एक वैदिक स्कॉलर थे.
हाँ हाँ.
तो उन्होंने उस टाइम he was doing surgeries. Will you believe that they were doing plastic surgeries in those days? So somehow we believe that those who lived before us, say 5,000-10,000 years back, did not have the means. Probably they were more developed and they used their inner reality more than the external realities. So they were more aware. Today, a lot of us are alive, but we are not awake.
कुछ आपने पता किया कि while were you going through your mythology, दांत सिर्फ 32 दांत क्यों होते हैं?
आप यकीन माने तो हमारा जो ग्रोथ हो रही है, स्पोक अबाउट एवोल्यूशन, हमारे पास पहले 32 दांत नहीं थे, उससे ज़्यादा भी थे. There were 4 molars because we are coming down from ape ancestry. And so the brain occupied a lesser space and the jaw occupied a larger space. Now with food getting more refined and the brain doing more work, our brain is compensating for the jaw. So the jaw size is reducing and the brain size is increasing. So now we have this kind of a structure. Earlier it was a different structure, thicker, bigger jaw. So now we've come to 32. Like I said, 3 generations down the line, we may have only 28 teeth. मिडलाइन और 4, अगर हम मुंह को 4 हिस्से में डिवाइड कर दें, अपर एंड लोअर एंड लेफ्ट एंड राइट, तो 6 दांत अगर सब तरफ हो तो तभी भी 24 दांत तो होते ही हैं चबाने के लिए. हमारे कुछ दांत टेयर करने के लिए यूज़ किए जाते हैं, कुछ चबाने के लिए और कुछ क्रशिंग के लिए. So that's why we need those many teeth.
It was great talking to you, Dr. Modi, and it was so informative, so deep, and I was just diving down and taking questions from you and understanding what all things you have. You have a big ocean of knowledge and information, and I know it's actually a long time on this talk, and we will sit back again and I will take all of your information, come back to the camera, and we will show people how knowledge is deep. Thank you so much for all your presence here on Krishna Talks, and I wish you back again. Thank you very much.